Minority Leader to write Auditor General about rent and lease program. Legislation to regulate the beekeeping and bee products industry is not sitting well with the Tobago Apicultural Society. Tobago farmers learn ways to yield pawpaw in 6 months, and T-Tile collaborates with the U.S. Embassy. Good evening, I am Bianna Brebner. Welcome to the Tobago Updates Television News for Tuesday, April 23rd, 2024. Now to our top story. Minority Leader Kelvon Morris disclosed that he penned a letter to the Auditor General concerning the rent and lease program budgeted under the Division of Infrastructure, Quarries and Urban Development. Morris said that during the PNM's tenure, $15 million would have been allocated to rent tools, equipment and vehicles to service the Unemployment Relief Program and the Development Program. He said that the entire allocation was not utilized then.
I understand that while we have an allocation of $15 million, this, under the rent and lease program, they have racked up a bill of over $35 million.
He said that the procurement is also questionable, as even the people managing the program are suppliers of the services within the program.
I cannot conscionably have this kind of information and not request. And therefore I've written, and I expect that the Auditor General would accede to that letter in the capacity as Minority Leader and even the Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee.
Morris shared that he is writing to ask them to do a special forensic audit of the rent and lease program where over $20 million would have exceeded the budgetary allocation. Legislation to regulate the beekeeping and bee products industry is not sitting well with the Tobago Apicultural Society. They claim that the Beekeeping and Bee Products Amendment Regulation Act 2023 will hurt the industry and make it harder for local beekeepers to earn profits. More details from reporter Candice Jackson.
One of the major contentions about the Beekeeping and Bee Products Amendment Regulations Act is the new regulations for where apiaries can be located. President of the Tobago Apicultural Society, Karen James, explains that the previous regulations stipulated a distance of 100 meters from residential areas, but the new regulations are doubling the restriction to 200 meters.
But it's not only 200 meters, there's also an additional 50 meters from your boundary. So let's say, for example, you have a lot of land to operate on, right? You have to have 50 meters from that boundary of that lot of land, and then 200 meters from that 50 meters, right? You have to have the closest business place, house, farm, rabbitry, anything like that must not come within that range.
Now, this regulation does not impact Tobago beekeepers because it is specific to African bees, which are found in Trinidad. In Tobago, apiaries usually consist of Italian and European bees, but they are standing in solidarity with their Trinidadian counterparts. However, another issue affecting all beekeepers nationally is a granting of permission to import honey and other bee byproducts at a cost of $100 per permit.
Why we are forced to pay $600, they are only allowed to pay $100. Making it easier, and they're not doing any work. They're not doing any heavy lifting. They're not to supply bees, boxes. They're not to go in the apiary.
James is worried that importers will be able to sell honey and other products at a lower rate than local beekeepers. Additionally, the legislation does not set standards for testing the honey to prevent diseases from entering the country. Furthermore, there are no changes to the resources that the inspector of apiaries has to work with.
Because now he has to be at the port to verify that this honey coming in and it doesn't spill so that bees can go on it, right? Or how to say, take up that nectar and become infected, right? So he has to be on the port. He still has to perform the duties of inspecting apiaries.
The legislation was tabled for debate in Parliament last Friday, but was postponed. Beekeepers in Trinidad and Tobago are hoping the postponement allows for changes to better strengthen the legislation and empower the industry. Candice Jackson, Tobago Updates, Television News.
In a bid to fortify ties with pivotal entities in Tobago's tourism domain, the Tobago Tourism Agency Limited quarterly received representatives from the American Citizen Services Unit of the U.S. Embassy Trinidad and Tobago at its Scarborough office on Friday, April 19, 2024. This meeting serves as a platform to delve into various pertinent topics, including the array of services accessible to American citizens on the island, prominent tourist attraction, and the exchange of information aimed at enhancing the overall visitor experience in Tobago. During the discourse, TTAL reiterated its unwavering dedication to nurturing collaborative efforts geared towards the advancement of the local tourism sector. Present at the gathering were notable figures including Philip Robinson, the interim CEO of TTAL, alongside Alicia Arendet, Unit Chief, and Alana Joseph, Supervisor, who represented the American Citizen Services Unit. Additionally, Andrea Jofield, TTAL Marketing Officer, contributed to the insightful deliberation. Still to come, Tobago farmers learn to yield pawpaw in 6 months. Stay with us.
On Saturday, April 27th, the atmosphere in Black Rock, Tobago will be filled with the sweet sound of jazz as Black Two Sugars and Starfish Tobago present Beachfront Jazz from 1 p.m. to 7 p.m. A premium drinks inclusive event featuring Ace Bajan saxophonist Arturo Tappan and band, Trinidad Top Jazz Ensemble, Alan Paulay with Vaughn and Bigfoot, Tobago songstress Kai DeVere, and just added veteran jazz guitarist Michael Boothman, pianist Hannah Goodrich, and new sensation Rose. Backed by the Beachfront Jazz Project, led by Emmy Fortune. Beachfront Jazz, all part of the Tobago Jazz and Music Weekend. Get your tickets now at Cache Port of Spain, Trin City, Eastgate, Gulf City Malls in Trinidad, Lowlands Mall in Tobago, and GenCare Day Spa, Woodbrook and Tobago. Or call 681-1516 or 627-4141. Brought to you by B-Mobile, our telecommunications partner, RBC Royal Bank, Angostura Premium Rums, Hennessy, Johnny Walker Scotch, and the Prime Minister Sports and Culture Fund. Beachfront Jazz, April 27th, Black Rock, Tobago.
Deltec Distributors, best deal. 3 pounds, pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 3 pounds each, $300, best deal. Or you could try 5 pounds pork, goat, chicken, turkey, beef, 5 meats, 5 pounds each, $500, best deal. $20 delivery. Call winner 359-5040 or 237-0102. Order online at www.deltecdistributors.com or check winner Mainwood, Argyle, Tobago. Deltec Distributors, best deal.
Cafe, the buffet restaurant that specializes in all your tasty local dishes. For breakfast and for lunch. Breakfast includes coconut bake and sada roti, served with chokers, buljoil, and sausages in tomato sauce. Not forgetting beef and cheese pies, shepherd's pie, macaroni pie, and rice in various styles. Meat served in a variety of flavors, garden salads, and pasta salads. All this accompanied by fruit juices, coconut water, your choice of a great combination to appease your taste buds. So call us today to order, as we are here to accommodate your busy schedules or if you are having a cooking day off.
Welcome back. Weeks of scorching temperatures and low periods of rainfall are devastating farmers across Tobago. But what if there's a way still to produce high-yielding crops even in the hottest month of the year? Well, through the basic agronomy that has fallen through the cracks in the agriculture industry and the science of organic chemicals, MAFS Limited is helping farmers in Tobago learn how to maximize their fields by showing them success in pawpaw fields in Easterfield, Mason Hall. Reporter Candice Jackson has the details.
This is just a little example of the size of the pawpaw that's being produced just after 6 months. This plant is just 6 months old. Over 2 acres of land in Easterfield Mason Hall was planted with over 750 papaya plants with high yields 2 to 3 months earlier than normal. This is because of methods used following the advice of MAFAS Limited technicians. Director and Extension of Outreach at MAFAS Limited, Matthew Edwin, explained they partnered with lead papaya farmer in Tobago, Colin Charles, to put their science to work.
In Mr. Charles' field, he used a high percentage of organic products. And what we realized with Tobago market is that they're not interested too much in the synthetic chemicals, but more in organic farming, living, everything like that.
With the simple science of understanding how the taproot works, these plants are able to grow and flourish within a shorter space of time. Vishram Bikari, MAFAS Limited Senior Technical Field Officer, explains that instead of waiting a month before transplanting seedlings from crate to the fields, they did it in 2 weeks.
Sit down in a little crate like that. Taproot reaches the bottom of that crate or that cell. What happens to the taproot? It will bounce, it will start to curl around like a pigtail, and it will start to rot. When you transplant that plant or that seedling into your soil now, you have no taproot.
Together with the use of organic chemicals to bring the soil to its correct mineral balance and encourage growth, according to Samora Nimrod, MAFAS Limited Technical Field Representative for Tobago.
So the plant could absorb the waste from the bacteria, and when it absorbs that, it will get a more shine and more healthier plant. We only now see nothing.
The results exceeded the expectation for Mr. Charles.
And when I used the first drench with the consort and the root feed and the charge, the difference I saw, I just had was to continue. I had no other choice but to continue.
MAFAS is sharing knowledge with farmers in Tobago.
It's so amazing. I really cannot comprehend it as yet to see the short trees with so much pawpaws on it.
We saw the trees short, strong, height at dry season, and in perfect production mode and health, which I think that is real good for any farmers.
Excellent, excellent. And that make me decide, well, look, I had to start to go that way there too, in order to get any production out of your labor, that you have the waste labor, because it's just a mass labor. You're doing a certain thing and you get half of the produce, but you gain extra. You're really impressive.
This is Candice Jackson reporting for Tobago Updates Television News from a climate-resilient pawpaw field in Easterfield, Mason Hall.
Opposition leader Kamala Prasad Bisesa claims that the licensing and police officers sometimes abuse their authority when dealing with drivers. She also condemned the demerit point system. She spoke at a UNC meeting in Princestown. Here's more.
Kamala Prasad Bisesa said that the driving population of Trinidad and Tobago faces the challenges of navigating bad roads and the heavy hand of the government through licensing officers. She stated that they are touted as road safety and accountability mechanisms.
The ticketing and demerit point system is being abused by some police and licensing officers and has become a source of anguish and frustration for many drivers across the land.
Prasad Bisesa pointed out that instead of instilling a sense of responsibility, the demerit point system has bred fear and resentment, fueled by a lack of transparency and trust in the licensing authority. She suggested that the government review this system.
People are losing their license and therefore their ability to earn a livelihood because of the arbitrary behavior of some licensing and some police officers. Some of these officers seem to be on a power trip, bullying and abusing our citizens regularly.
The opposition leader highlighted that there are many videos online showcasing officers harassing drivers with no basis in law and insulting and abusing drivers in front of their families.
These officers must be brought to hand, must be reprimanded for their abusive behavior towards the public. Tonight I propose a new vision for road safety that prioritizes education and rehab over simple punishment.
Prasad Bisesa said that there must be advocacy for a system of retraining instead of imposing harsh financial penalties and suspensions except for the worst offenses, such as driving under the influence. She also shared that training programs that promote safer driving habits to equip drivers with the skills to navigate the nation's roads responsibly should be utilized. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
The Tobago Heritage Conservation Society shared that they welcome the Division of Tourism, Culture, Antiquities and Transportation as Tasha Boris, the Division Secretary, announced last Wednesday that the major renovations will be done at the lighthouse at Fort King George in Scarborough. The Tobago Heritage Conservation Society noted that they have been assisting the project and the preparations of this project since July 2023. The project will address the renovation of the infrastructure of the lighthouse and the restoration of the Fresnel lens, which they said was a part of the optical apparatus at Point Galliera Lighthouse built in 1897 and is located in Toco, Trinidad. A brief history of the Fort King George Lighthouse was also shared, informing persons that the lighthouse was commissioned in 1958 with the Fresnel lens being in operations for many decades until a small automatic blinking light replaced it. You're watching the Tobago Updates Television News. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram and YouTube at Tobago Updates. More news after this.
TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited notifies all members of its 74th Annual General Meeting at the Center of Excellence Tunapuna and Shore Park Complex, Tobago on Saturday, 11th May 2024, commencing at 1 p.m. Items on the agenda include minutes of the 73rd AGM, Board of Directors and other committee reports, election of officers, presentation of audited accounts 2023, recommendations, dividends 2023, and resolutions, budget proposal 2024, amendments to bylaws. Registration for the meeting can be done online via the Society's website at www.twcu.co.tt. Their main office at number 31 Pembroke Street, Port of Spain, Trinidad, or their Tobago unit at Port Mall Shopping Center, Scarborough, Tobago. Deadline for registration is Wednesday, 1st May 2024 at 3 p.m. In order to safeguard the health and safety of all persons in attendance, COVID-19 protocol measures will be observed. For further information, please contact the Society at 623-4444. TWCU Credit Union Cooperative Society Limited. Our credit union, one family.
When we outside, it's an ocean of love. All that we align to the stars up above. Let we dance now, take a chance now with me. And we go jump till morning. Look, the moon don't sleeping. Tell them we not leaving till the last drop of a canal is madness in the capital. So I feel like I run in tongue again. Jump and shake the ground again. Brave with all my friends and them. No place like home. 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 We go jump till the moon come down. It's we who the stars shine on. Play a mass and break away. Freedom in with DNA.
is how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show, and everybody's gonna know. Say it to them once again. They better look up below. This is your show, and everybody's gonna know. That's how it's gonna go. They better look up below, 'cause this is your show. More, live more.
Tipsy presents Sip and Paint, an expression of a mother's love. Join us at the Tropicist Beach Hotel, Sunday, May 12th from 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Guests are entitled to finger foods and wine. Full package painter tickets only $600. And if you just want to hang out, we've got you. Limers pay $450. You'll be entertained by a special sensational reggae artist, a live band, and come witness our bonfire. We've got loads of giveaways. We're catering to mom all evening. Sunday, May 12th, 6 p.m. to 10 p.m. Tropicist Beach Hotel. Come, sip and paint with Tipsy.
Welcome back. Minority Leader Kelvin Morris inquired about the current THA administration's use of budgetary allocation since they took office. Morris stated that this administration received more money than central government than when the PNM was in power, accusing the Farley-led THA of misleading the public about being under refund. Ariana Scipio has the report.
Minority Leader Kelvin Morris posted an image on his Facebook page outlining the current THA administration's budgetary allocations from fiscal 2021-2022 to the present, which he claims would be $7 billion in 3 years. He also highlighted that the PNM administration spent a total of $40 billion over its 21-year tenure, noting that it was an average spend of over $1.9 billion per fiscal year. During the PNM's public meeting on Sunday, Morris alleged that the current administration has been telling Tobagonians that the central government has been underfunding the THA since the administration changed. He recalled the budget before the PNM was voted out of office in 2021.
I want to share with you the budgetary allocation in 2021-2022 fiscal period was $2.134 billion. So let us record that because we're going to do some maths. So that was a little piece of the PNM from October to December, and the rest was this current PDP, TPP, Farley administration. We don't even know the name right now.
Morris stated that in the 2022-2023 fiscal year with the current administration, the budgetary allocation increased to $2.336 billion. Which he said is an increase of $202 million.
And it gets even better. The budgetary allocation 2023 to 2024 they got $2.522 billion. So brothers and sisters, that was a further increase of $185 million.
The minority leader said that the Farley-led administration received a total cumulative increase of what was given in 2021 of over $387 million.
The fact is, this administration has actually received more money than the People's National Movement previously. So when you hear them going around and saying that they are not getting as much money as the former PNM administration, I want you to tell them they lie.
Morris pointed out that it means over the administration's 3-year period, they have received almost $7 billion and will have spent this amount by the end of October. He said that, on average, they have spent $2.3 billion per fiscal year. He said the PNM was able to do more with less funding. Ariana Scipio, Tobago Updates Television News.
And that's how we end this evening's newscast. Let's perhaps recap the headlines before we go. Minority leader to write Auditor General about rent and lease program. Legislation to regulate the beekeeping and bee products industry is not sitting well with the Tobago Agricultural Society. Tobago farmers learned ways to yield pawpaw in 6 months, and TTAL collaborates with the U.S. Embassy. I am Biana Brebner. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a great night.